The hook hits before the story breathes. "Where's Megan?" Liam demanded, voice cracking through the wedding hall like a glass shattering on marble. His question sliced the celebration in half, silencing the music, freezing the guests, turning smiles into knives of discomfort. But the wedding planner, the only one brave enough to face him, spoke the truth everyone else swallowed. "Sir, she's gone. After you chose her sister over her on your wedding day, she left." That was the moment the groom realized the woman he broke wasn't waiting in any corner of the hall. She wasn't standing behind a curtain, crying softly. She wasn't hiding in anger or heartbreak. Megan was simply gone, because this time, she chose herself. The hall, draped in ivory silk and shimmering chandeliers meant to celebrate love, had never felt colder. Liam's eyes darted around the room, stopping where Megan had stood earlier, offering a hollow congratulations to the couple. Her smile, too calm, too steady, burned his memory now. He remembered how she placed the maid of honor bouquet on the table with a gentle finality, as though she were leaving more than flowers behind. It hit him too late that the quiet in her eyes wasn't acceptance. It was goodbye wrapped in grace. But the truth was ugly beneath the beautiful decorations. Megan was supposed to be the one walking down that aisle. She had been the woman he loved for years, the woman who supported him through every crisis, who believed in his potential even when he didn't. She was the one he once promised the world to. And yet, the world wasn't enough to keep him loyal when her sister Claire whispered doubt into his ears. Claire, who was always jealous of Megan's strength, who painted her as too emotional, too intense, too much. Claire, who flirted with his insecurities until they grew teeth and started biting at his relationship. No one expected Megan to act the way she did that morning. She didn't scream when Liam announced the change of plans. She didn't slap him or cry or beg him to reconsider. Instead, she simply said, "I hope you are choosing her for love, not convenience." Then she walked away to prepare for a ceremony that was no longer hers. Now, as Liam paced the wedding hall like a man waking from anesthesia, he felt panic rise in his chest, threatening to choke him. He stormed outside, ignoring the gasps and whispers behind him. His polished shoes tugged against gravel as he ran toward the parking lot. "Megan!" he shouted, as if calling her name could reverse time. But the lot was empty except for a few scattered petals blown from the decorations. He tried the garden next, a place Megan loved, where she sometimes hid when overwhelmed. He checked behind the rose arch, the bench beneath the oak tree, even the maintenance area behind the venue. Nothing. Inside the hall, his mother clasped her hands tightly, eyes swollen with impending tears. She looked at Claire, who trembled under her scrutiny. Then she looked at her son. "Liam," she said, the disappointment in her tone deeper than anger, "you broke the heart of the best woman you ever had." Liam returned, chest heaving, mind replaying memories like a cruel montage. Megan laughing with her whole face. Megan studying late into the night beside him. Megan holding his hand during every failure and cheering for him during every success. He felt everything at once: guilt, confusion, dread, regret. It sat heavy in his stomach like a stone. Claire approached him hesitantly, her dress shimmering under the golden lights. "Maybe it's for the best," she murmured, reaching for his arm. "She'll understand eventually." He jerked away. For the first time since this nightmare began, he looked at Claire not with affection but with clarity. Her eyes flickered just a fraction, but he saw at unease, as if she feared Megan leaving more than she feared the wedding falling apart. But he couldn't think about Claire now. All he could think about was Megan. Meanwhile, miles away, Megan sat alone in an old train station with peeling paint and flickering fluorescent lights. The contrast between her surroundings and the opulence of the wedding hall didn't matter. This place felt honest, real, free. Her suitcase leaned against her leg, her phone turned off in her pocket to escape the explosion of calls and messages she knew were coming. She replayed everything in her mind as the sounds of distant trains hummed around her. The night she overheard Liam telling a friend, "Claire is simpler. Megan feels heavy, heavy." That word sliced her deeper than the betrayal itself, because she realized he mistook her depth for burden, her loyalty for intensity, her love for demand. She remembered the way he used to hold her hand tightly while crossing the street, the way he whispered dreams into her ear when he couldn't sleep, the way he leaned on her when his world felt unstable. She remembered the man she loved, but she also remembered how he had changed, how he doubted her without reason, how he pulled away little by little, until she felt like she was fighting for a man who no longer saw her. And now she was expected to stand beside him as he married her own sister. Her hands trembled as she thought about it. She had swallowed pain for years, made excuses for every red flag, protected him when he didn't protect her. But the moment she saw him standing at the altar with Claire, proud, confident, choosing her, something inside, Megan finally snapped. She wasn't angry anymore. She was simply done. A train approached, rumbling like distant thunder. She stood, adjusting her grip on her suitcase. The cold breeze stung her cheeks, but it carried the scent of freedom. She didn't know where she was going. She only knew it was away from him, away from betrayal, away from the version of herself who tolerated being treated as second best. Back at the wedding hall, Liam's sister stormed up to him, gripping his collar. "You want to know where Megan is?" she hissed. "She's somewhere starting over. And you're stuck here with the consequences of your choices." He blinked rapidly, unable to breathe as those words sank deeper. The planner approached timidly. "Should we delay the ceremony, sir?" Liam looked at the empty aisle again, the space where Megan should have walked toward him once upon a time. His voice cracked. "There is no ceremony." He removed the boutonniere Megan chose months ago, crushed it in his fist, and walked out of the hall without looking back. Claire called after him, but he didn't stop. He didn't turn. He didn't care about anything except the hollow, aching truth beating against his ribs. He had lost Megan, and this time, she wouldn't be found easily. The chapter begins with a twist that hooks viewers instantly. Claire wasn't celebrating her stolen victory. She wasn't smiling in the bridal suite. She was pacing back and forth, her lipstick smeared, her hands shaking as guilt clawed at her ribs. When Liam barged in, wild-eyed and breathless, she whispered the last thing he expected to hear on their wedding day. "Liam, I think I made a mistake. A terrible one." Her voice trembled, and something in her expression made his stomach drop. There was more to Megan's disappearance than heartbreak. There were lies. Lies Claire had woven for months, and now they were unraveling. Liam stared at her, still panting. The adrenaline from running through streets, gardens, hallways had worn off, leaving him raw. "What are you talking about?" he demanded, though a part of him already sensed the answer. Claire avoided his gaze. She gripped the edge of the vanity table, knuckles pale. "You didn't choose me," she whispered, her voice breaking. "You never did. I just made sure you believed you should." Liam blinked. "Claire, don't play games, not now." But Claire shook her head furiously. "I'm not playing anything, Liam. I manipulated you." The confession slapped him across the face harder than any physical blow. She inhaled shakily, the truth spilling out faster than she could stop it. "Megan didn't drive you away." "I did. I told you she doubted you. I told you she found someone else. I planted those things. Every time you thought she was pulling away, it was me whispering poison." Liam felt the air leave his lungs. His knees weakened. He grabbed the back of a chair to steady himself. Images flashed through his mind, every argument he had with Megan, every moment he doubted her, every night he believed she was losing interest. All of it suddenly twisted, corrupted. "Why?" he breathed, barely able to shape the word. Claire's face crumbled. "Because I was jealous, because she always had everything I didn't. Your love, your attention, your patience. I wanted to be the one you chose, but you never looked at me the way you looked at her." She choked on her own confession. "So I made you believe she wasn't right for you. I made you think she was unhappy. I made sure you fell into my arms instead." Liam felt sick. Literally sick. The room spun. Betrayal wasn't unfamiliar to him. He had just committed it himself, but he never imagined he had been living inside someone else's manipulation. "Does Megan know?" he asked, his voice small. Claire nodded slowly, shame dragging her head down. "She found out about a week ago. She confronted me. She didn't want to tell you because she didn't want to destroy our family. She said she'd handle it on her own. I think she decided to leave long before today." The world stopped. He felt like he'd been walking through smoke for months, and suddenly someone flung the windows open. Megan knew everything. She knew the lies. She knew the betrayals. She knew the truth, and she still said nothing. She protected them all, even him. Suddenly Liam understood why her smile had seemed so calm that morning, why she didn't react the way people expected. She wasn't shocked or blindsided. She wasn't helpless. She was done. He walked out before Claire could finish explaining, her voice fading into a sobbing echo behind him. He didn't know where he was going, but every step carried a single truth: he had to find Megan. Not to fix her because she wasn't the broken one, but to tell her she deserved better than the mess he had become. Meanwhile, Megan wiped her hands on her apron in the small coastal cafe where she was now working. The owner, an elderly woman named June, had given her shelter without questions. "Everyone runs from something," June had said on the first day. "Some people run to new lives. Others run to discover the ones they lost along the way." Megan didn't answer then, but now she thought about those words constantly. She'd spent the last few months building tiny pieces of herself back together. She learned how to breathe without feeling someone else's expectations pressing into her lungs. She learned how to wake up without waiting for a text that never came. She learned how to live in silence without drowning in it. The town was small, quiet, gentle in ways her old life never was. Megan felt like a shadow learning how to become solid again, but healing wasn't straight. Some days she felt strong, other days she remembered his laugh, his warmth, his touch, and her chest cracked open again. She tried not to hate him, because hatred tied her to the same pain she was trying to escape, but she did resent him deeply for believing the worst of her so easily. One windy evening, Megan closed the cafe and stepped outside. The ocean roared in the distance, wild and comforting. She pulled her cardigan tighter around her shoulders, preparing for her quiet walk home. But as she rounded the corner, she froze. Liam was standing there, wind-tousled, breathless, eyes red and filled with something she'd never seen so intensely before, remorse mixed with desperation. "Megan," he breathed, like her name was a prayer he wasn't worthy of whispering. Her heart slammed against her ribs. She didn't speak immediately. She didn't know if she could. He took a hesitant step toward her. "I've been looking for you for months." She swallowed hard. "Why?" He exhaled shakily. "Because I learned everything. Claire told me. Every lie. Every manipulation. Everything she did to turn me against you." His voice cracked. "Megan, I'm so sorry." She looked at him for a long, quiet moment. "You believed her," she said softly. "It wasn't a question. It was a simple truth." Liam nodded, tears pooling in his eyes. "I did. And I hate myself for it. I should have trusted you. I should have listened to you. I should have chosen you long before our love became complicated." Megan felt a familiar ache rise, but it didn't drown her this time. It simply reminded her of the wound shed already healed enough to touch. "Liam, what do you want from me?" she whispered. He looked at her as though she was the only person in the world. "Not forgiveness," he said. "I don't deserve that. I just needed to tell you the truth, and I needed to know you're okay, that you found something better than what I gave you." She glanced toward the sea, feeling its wind push her hair back. "I'm healing," she said honestly. "It wasn't easy at first, but I'm learning to take care of myself the way I took care of everyone else." He swallowed hard. "Do you think we could ever try again?" Megan closed her eyes for a moment. When she opened them, they were steady, calm, clear. "I don't hate you," she said, and Liam's breath hitched. "But going back would mean erasing everything I've built here, everything I discovered about myself. And I can't do that." She stepped closer and touched his hand gently, not out of longing but closure. "I lost myself loving you. I won't lose myself healing you." Liam let his tears fall freely. He nodded, understanding more than ever what love should have been. "I'll let you go," he whispered. "You already did," she said softly. This time I'm choosing to walk away. He watched her turn toward the warm glow of the cafe lights, her silhouette steady against the wind. She wasn't running anymore. She wasn't broken. She was free. And for the first time, Liam understood, sometimes the greatest love story isn't about winning someone back, it's about letting them become who they were always meant to be.